Hey everyone, it's Flava, and welcome back to another Overwatch video. But it's a little different. If you remember the healer video, which was my last video on the channel, it's going to be very similar to that, except instead of comparing healers, we're going to be talking about D.Va, and I'm going to go personally what I think is good about her and what makes her a pretty good hero in today's meta. So let's start out with her damage here. Her gun is it's not good, pretty much. It's not a very good gun. It's got a damage of 0.6, which is the minimum. 0.6 is the minimum, and 2 is the maximum. Let that sink in for a minute. The fall off, which is basically how far away you are from the target, is the farther away you are as D.Va, you're gonna do a very small amount of damage. It's 10 to 20 meters, so stay very close. You're gonna want to be essentially point blank. She definitely does have a headshot. She can headshot with the whatever they're called. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. Excuse me. Fusion cannons. My apologies. But something that makes up for the lack of damage is a few different things, and the first of which is D.Va's infinite ammo. D.Va's infinite ammo it's great. It's a nice feature. But other than that, what really makes her fusion cannons nice is her boosters. Okay, so her boosters do 25 damage. So hitting someone with a boost is the same amount of damage as if you were to melee. And then your micro missiles, which is the little missiles you shoot, every direct hit does 9 per missile, which is a lot. That can be pretty good. Her ultimate does 1,000 damage, has a 20 meter radius, and then when she's out of mech, she does 14 damage every hit and has 20 ammo. Her mech also has 400 HP, 200 armor, and for her very last little, trick, I suppose you could call it, she has her defense matrix. Now, if you are a new player to Overwatch, then you are a very lucky human being, because D.Va's defense matrix used to last for around 5 to 10 seconds, and had a very fast cooldown, so you could use it again and again. So say you're a soldier. You've got your tactical visor. Everyone's there, the whole enemy team. You pop it, and then D.Va flies right in your face and just holds defense matrix up. She can not only hold it for the entire duration of your ult, but even after your ult is finished, she can hold it long enough for her whole team to come in and kill you. And it's disheartening. It's really disheartening. Now she can only eat a little bit of your ult. Only a little bit. So if you're someone like Reaper, or Soldier, or McCree, make sure you knock D.Va out of mech before you try to ult. Okay, now let's talk about where D.Va is in the current meta. D.Va is part of something called a dive comp, which is essentially D.Va, Winston, Genji, Tracer, Zenyatta, and then the last healer could be someone like Lucio, someone like Mercy, someone like Ana. Of course, with the Mercy nerf that's come in, it's not good. It's not a good thing. So what you're gonna want to do, right? And what I do. Now, I'm not a professional, but this is what I do. I'm a pretty high level player. Is when you're flying at someone, you want to be shooting and micro missiling at the exact same time. And when you get close enough to that person, you're gonna want to melee. So let's say you're close to them and you're getting direct hits with the fusion cannons, yeah? Excuse me, I think I'm dying, ladies and gentlemen. So you're doing 2 damage every shot that goes in, which is, she has a pretty fast rate of fire. She has 11 pellets per shot, which is 6.7 rounds every second, which, you do the math, it's a lot of damage over time. So what makes D.Va strong is the dive comp you go in. The issue with dive comp, and not a lot of people do this, is dive comp requires communication, yes? So say you have your Winston. Now how it works is you want to jump and kill a priority target. So say the enemy team has a, let's just say a Mercy, and she's got her ult. Now you would be communicating with your Winston, and you'd be like, hey Winston, you want to dive this Mercy with me? And he'd be like, okay, yes. And so you have to time it correctly. And so you'd be like, okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, dive, and you dive them. And once someone says 1, 2, 3, dive, the team goes in and they attack. Always kill Mercy first as D.Va, and that's who you want to focus. Widow's pretty easy to kill. Be careful fighting Junkrat. You're almost certainly going to lose against Reaper, all that kind of stuff. Second, she is a great counter to Pharah. Just awesome counter to Pharah. she just annihilates Pharah when she can get close enough. Let's see. Also, her defense matrix has a 15-meter radius, which is pretty good. Pretty good. It can reach pretty far. She can't take as much damage as she used to, but she can definitely. Okay, so armor. I don't know how many of you know this. Armor essentially reduces the amount of damage you take. So if someone has 400 health and 200 armor, then the armor is more than the health. Not 200 armor, but if you put 1 bar of health and 1 bar of armor, the armor would be more, because armor is stronger than health. So, okay, so D.Va has 400 health, 200 armor, like I said. Back in the day, D.Va had 400 armor, 200 health. And it would take soldiers and McCrees and Junkrats a long time to kill D.Va. And now they've kind of fixed her a bit, so that's pretty good. Who else does she counter? She's really good against Winston. You can beat Winston pretty bad. You can beat Widows really well. You gotta be careful not to get headshotted. Always fly around real fast. As for your ult, what you're gonna kind of want to do is, when you have your ult, it's probably one of the only times you ever want to flank with D.Va. Okay? And so, what you also want to remember is, if they have a Reinhardt, try to break the Reinhardt shield, because if he has the shield, he'll put up his shield and your ult will do. Remember, he can block like infinite amount of damage with 1 shield HP. So if he has 1 shield HP and your ult goes down, he can block your entire ult with 1 shield HP. Which, I mean, I don't know if that should be allowed, but that's how it is. So you have to destroy the whole shield and then use your ult, or sneak behind, ult them, and while your team, so you basically sandwich them so they can either fight your team and die to the ult, or try to run away while your team's blasting them in the back. So with her ult is one of the really nice times that you want to use your ult, is just sandwich them. Sandwiching works really well. Who's she weak against? Reaper defeats every tank almost 100% of the time, unless there's always the situation where he loses, but those are pretty rare. She's pretty. Junkrat versus D.Va is a skill fight. Definitely a skill fight. Junkrat versus Tracer is a pretty skillful match as well. You have to be really careful. Moira is actually very difficult to play against D.Va, because if D.Va's eating your orbs while you throw them out, then you're not getting any value out of those orbs. So you definitely want to try to eat those. She's a great counter for Bastion. You just stand there and defense matrix him, and your whole team. Okay, now here's the problem. You have to have some level of coordination. So say you're a D.Va and your friend is, who knows, let's say a soldier, and there's a Bastion in the corner. You're not just gonna walk up to Bastion, defense matrix in, and he dies. Okay, people are probably gonna ignore him until he starts shooting at them, but then it's too late. So you say to your friend, all right, here, I'm defense matrixing Bastion now, and then as soon as you defense matrix him, he should be laying into Bastion. Bastion's gonna get scared, he's gonna get up and run away and try to heal. At that point, put down the defense matrix and just lay into him. That's pretty much the end of it. Let's see. D.Va can fight Orisa one-on-one, but she has to be really careful. Orisa versus D.Va's a little in the favor of Orisa. Reinhardt versus D.Va is in the favor of Reinhardt. Roadhog and D.Va is in the favor of Roadhog, but that's for every tank in Roadhog, because Roadhog's crazy. Zarya and D.Va is a skill matchup. Winston and D.Va is in the favor of D.Va. D.Va's also really good against Torbjorn, so never forget about that. And she destroys McCree. I can't tell you how tough it is to play McCree when there's a good D.Va, and she just jumps on you and annihilates you. As a tank, always be careful of 2 things: Zenyatta Discord and Honest Sleep Dart. What I normally do is I'll fly at someone while shooting, and then when I reach them, I'll just hit them. And then once I'm close enough to them, because what's it called? Melee has a circular hitbox. It's almost like a sphere that you can miss, so you could not be looking at someone and still somewhat hit them. And it's just 25 damage. So that's 25 plus the 25 you do when you run into someone, plus all the damage you do with your missiles. It's a fast kill, and if Winston's helping you, you can probably kill Reaper. Hanzo. Hanzo is a scary fight. You have to really be careful with Hanzo. Well, Hanzo can pretty much beat everyone at the end of the day. If there's a good Hanzo, just give up, essentially. Run away. Don't fight him. As for when you should be using defense matrix, if your team's in danger, like say your healer's under fire, defense matrix them. Whatever you do, don't hold defense matrix. Use it in bursts. I'm sure you know this simple stuff. When soldier ults, fly up into his face. Defense matrix. Don't hold it. Use it in bursts. He can't kill someone instantly. Remember that. And the only time you're really gonna want to heal, or not heal. What am I saying? The only time you're gonna want to hold defense matrix is if Bastion or somebody like that is using their ultimate, because at the end of the day, Bastion's ult can one-shot a squishy, which is anyone 200 HP. I'm not sure if he can kill 250 HPs. I'm pretty sure he can though. So always like hold it for them because they'll waste time. Let's see. She's really good for. I want to say she's good at flanking, but the issue is you don't want to be flanking, which is the problem. If you're the only tank, you're solo tanking. So first of all, if you're solo tanking, get off D.Va. You shouldn't be on D.Va if you're solo tanking. The way I see it and the way it's put, there are 3 main tanks and 3 off tanks. The 3 main tanks are Reinhardt, Orisa, and Winston. Those are the 3 main tanks. The 3 off tanks are Roadhog, Zarya, and D.Va, because they all support the other main tank. If you don't have a shield as D.Va, you can be in some big trouble. That's an issue. Also, fun fact, Reinhardt Orisa isn't really that great unless they have a lot of spam damage like a Junkrat or something like that, so just remember that. Just a milky factor, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, don't solo tank with D.Va, because it's tough enough to solo tank, but it's tough enough, it's even tougher to solo tank while playing an off tank. So yeah, that's kind of what it means. And there's offs and mains for every hero. Excuse me, I'm dying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm literally dead in my chair. Like Ana, she's a main healer. Mercy is a main healer. Moira, I honestly couldn't tell you if she's a main healer or not because I haven't played her enough. Zenyatta is not a main healer, and neither is Lucio. If you ever try to main heal with Zenyatta, it's going to be very rough and very, very difficult. For Doomfist, you can beat Doomfist. Don't be too scared of Doomfist. You're pretty good against him. His head. Aim for the head or aim for the neck, because you have such a large spread that aiming for the neck is going to hit the head. You know, and Torbjorn, you just annihilate the tiny dwarf man, you know, at the end of the day. So yeah, what you should always be doing is looking for the most important person for you to dive. Also, I know this sounds like it can get complicated, and it is very complicated. But if you want to get the most value out of your ult, send it where the most enemy teams is, and like figure out who's got what. If they have a Winston, he can bubble your ultimate and the team will be fine. His team will be fine because he put a bubble on your ultimate. And a bubble is basically the Winston's, you know, his little shield thing. So you kind of want to keep track of, okay, did Winston use his bubble yet? Can I ult safely? Is Reinhardt's shield down? You know, stuff like that. And that's kind of what you're going to do with D.Va. Be also very careful. Don't overextend. What D.Va can do is she gets in really fast and she gets out. She does not stay in the fight. She's not a frontline tank. She stays back and does the damage, and then as soon as there's an opening, you go in as fast as you can. That's the secret, you know. With Winston, with D.Va, with Reinhardt, you don't want to be in the fight, you know. You want to be back away and let your DPS do the damage, and as soon as there's an opening, you can go in with your team and wipe the enemy. That's essentially what you're gonna need to know. Is Overwatch is timing based. If you go in as a tank and your DPS hasn't killed anyone and hasn't done anything, you're gonna get absolutely destroyed, and then Mercy might have to risk her life rezzing you. Also, fun fact, D.Va's a terrible target to res. Never res baby D.Va. It's just terrible. Let's see, is there anyone else D.Va's really nice against? Don't fight Mei as D.Va. Mei's a very tough fight for D.Va to fight up against. Yep. Avoid Reaper at all costs. If you have a teammate, yell to the teammate and say, hey dude, I need help, this is Reaper. You should not be fighting Reaper. Ever. No tank should ever be in contact with Reaper. The DPS, like, I play a lot of DPS. Let's not lie here, people. I'm a DPS main at heart, okay? I'll flex, because I like to flex. But it's the DPS's job to fight, you know, the Reaper. Say you have a Reinhardt and, I don't know, a Zarya. Simple comp, maybe a Soldier, and a Genji, and a Mercy, and an Ana, okay? Normal composition. Reaper comes in and chews through Reinhardt. Okay, Mercy tries to res him, and she gets killed. What's the DPS doing? You know, what are they aiming at? They need to be either... Okay, so you need to execute, like, execute Reaper as fast as you can, DPS. If there's any DPS watching, like, execute the Reaper. He should not be on your tanks. He should not be killing them. If you're a McCree, like, just kill him, because it's really easy. And if your tanks, like D.Va, okay, if someone's playing D.Va and your DPS is hurting Reaper and he Wraith forms away, don't pursue him alone, okay? Reaper will end your existence. Even if you come out of the mech and get some headshots on him, he will wipe you off the face of the earth. Reaper's crazy, crazy against these tanks. You want your DPS to fight him, or maybe send off a Tracer, have a Widow's really good for fighting Reaper, Junkrat can stop Reaper, Genji can stop Reaper, but those are kind of, you know, skill matchups here and there. Zenyatta is also very good. If you hire a tank, and you notice there's a Discord orb, and you think you can kill the Reaper while he's discorded, give it a try, you know, don't say you didn't try, but just let people know. Like, if you're playing with anyone beforehand, say, okay, I'm diving the Reaper, please help. That's all you need to say, and people are probably going to come to your aid because you're the tank and they don't want you dead. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I, of course, hope you did enjoy. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'll be sure to answer them to the best of my abilities. I've been Flava, and I'll see you in the next video.